Welcome to my channel Buzz. Ron Howard is now 71 years old, and he finally wants to tell everyone the real truth about George Lindsey. Ron Howard was born on March 1, 1954, in a place called Duncan, Oklahoma. He was born into a family that was already in show business. His dad, Rance Howard, was a really good actor who played lots of different characters. His mom, Jean Spiegel Howard, was also an actress. Growing up around all this acting stuff, Ron got to see how movies and TV shows were made from when he was really young. Having a family like this, plus being really talented himself, helped Ron have an amazing career that lasted for many, many years and included doing lots of different cool things. Ron's journey in the entertainment world started right away when he was just a little kid. As a child actor, he became famous for playing a character named Opie Taylor on a really popular TV show called The Andy Griffith Show. This show was on TV from 1960 to 1968. When Ron played Opie, who was a sweet, innocent, and smart kid, he quickly became someone that everyone in America knew and loved. He was really good at making his character seem real, funny, and honest, which made him different from other young actors. People who wrote about TV shows said he was great, and regular people watching TV at home really liked him too. After that, Ron kept getting more famous on TV. His most well-known role was playing a teenager named Richie Cunningham on a super popular show called Happy Days, which started in 1974. This show was all about what life was like in America during the 1950s. Ron was really good at being funny and had perfect timing for jokes, which helped make him one of the most loved actors on TV. But Ron Howard wanted to do more than just act in front of the camera. Even when he was young, he really wanted to learn about telling stories from behind the camera too. He was really interested in how movies were made, like how the story gets told with pictures, how camera angles work, how lighting works. Ron slowly started to become a director, instead of just an actor. He began by working on smaller projects like commercials and episodes of TV shows. He worked really hard and paid attention to every little detail to get better at directing. His early work as a director showed that he was really good at understanding people's feelings, making the timing of scenes just right, and putting stories together in a way that made sense. This showed everyone that he was going to make some really amazing movies in the years that would come later. Ron's career as a director really took off in the late 1970s and 1980s, when he made several movies that critics said were really, really good. In 1984, he made a movie called Splash, which was a romantic comedy with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah in it. This movie showed that Ron could mix funny parts, romantic parts, and fantasy parts together in a way that people really connected with. After that, he made Cocoon in 1985. This movie was about getting older, becoming young again, and how people connect with each other. It showed that Ron was really good at working with lots of actors at the same time and telling stories that had deep emotions in them. During the 1980s and 1990s, he kept proving that he could make all different kinds of movies. He made everything from a really exciting thriller called Parenthood in 1989. Then he made a biographical masterpiece called Apollo 13 in 1995. This movie combined being historically accurate with exciting human drama that kept people on the edge of their seats. One of Ron Howard's biggest achievements is his work on movies that explore real historical events and tell the stories of real people's lives. In 2001, he made A Beautiful Mind, which was a really moving movie about a mathematician named John Nash. This movie earned Ron the Academy Award for Best Director and made his reputation as one of Hollywood's most talented and respected filmmakers even stronger. The movie was a perfect example of Ron's special ability to blend great acting performances with complicated storytelling and a strong emotional center. Later movies like Frost Nixon in 2008 and Rush in 2013 showed even more that he was committed to exploring complex characters and real-life events. He always made sure to be authentic and deep in his storytelling. In 2006, Ron Howard took on the really big project of directing The Da Vinci Code, which was a mystery thriller movie adapted from Dan Brown's book that sold millions of copies around the world. The story was all about the secrets of the Holy Grail and hidden mysteries within Christian history. This movie was really controversial when it came out, which means it caused a lot of arguments and attracted criticism from many people, especially from the Roman Catholic Church. The church was worried about how the film interpreted religious history. Even though there were waves of people opposing it, Ron's amazing direction combined with Tom Hanks's compelling portrayal of the main character Robert Langdon allowed the film to capture the imagination of audiences around the world. The movie skillfully balanced suspense, historical intrigue, and intellectual puzzles, resulting in a movie experience that both entertained people and made them think. Against the backdrop of all the controversy, The Da Vinci Code achieved remarkable commercial success, making over $758 million globally. This proved not only Ron's ability to navigate challenging subject matter, but also his knack for turning provocative material into compelling mainstream entertainment that regular people wanted to see. Almost 10 years later, in 2015, Ron once again showed his versatility as a filmmaker with the adventure drama In the Heart of the Sea, which he both produced and directed. The film was inspired by Nathaniel Phillips' non-fiction book and told the true story of the whale ship Essex. This ship had a tragic encounter with a massive sperm whale in 1820, and this real story inspired Herman Melville's classic novel Moby Dick. Ron's careful attention to historical accuracy and his flair for epic storytelling brought the scary tale of survival, courage, and human strength vividly to life on the big screen. The film had a talented group of actors, including Chris Hemsworth, Benjamin Walker, Cillian Murphy, and Tom Holland. Each actor gave nuanced performances that made the story even richer. Ron's direction emphasized not only the physical struggle against the merciless sea, but also the psychological toll on the men involved. This created an emotionally engaging experience that balanced adventure, drama, and historical reflection. Though the film received mixed critical reviews, it showed Ron's continued commitment to tackling ambitious large-scale projects that blend human drama with historical and literary significance. In 2016, Ron returned to familiar territory by directing Inferno, which was the third movie in the Robert Langdon series following The Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons. Based again on a Dan Brown novel, the film went into a complex story combining art, history, and science. In this movie, Langdon races against time to prevent a global catastrophe linked to Dante's Divine Comedy. Ron's experience with the earlier adaptations allowed him to skillfully maintain the franchise's signature blend of intellectual puzzles, fast-paced action, and intricate symbolism. The movie starred Tom Hanks, who played Robert Langdon again, supported by Felicity Jones, Omar Sy, and Irfan Khan. Their performances added depth and believability to the high-stakes thriller. By keeping audiences engaged with suspenseful twists and visually striking locations across Florence, Venice, and Istanbul, Ron reinforced his reputation as a director capable of translating complex literary thrillers into engaging movie experiences that people around the world could enjoy. Continuing to diversify his portfolio, Ron took on the challenge of directing Solo, a Star Wars story, which was released in May 2018. The film explored the early adventures of Han Solo, one of the most beloved characters in the iconic Star Wars universe. It went into his origin story, relationships, and transformation into the roguish hero fans have long admired. The movie featured Alden Ehrenreich in the main role alongside Woody Harrelson, Emilia Clarke, Donald Glover, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. The film offered a fresh perspective on the space saga while keeping the franchise's sense of adventure, humor, and epic scale. Ron stepped in during production after directors Phil Lord and Christopher Miller left due to creative differences. He brought stability and a clear vision to the project. His ability to balance character development, high-octane action sequences, and visual spectacle allowed Solo to honor the legacy of the Star Wars franchise while offering audiences new insight into the formative years of one of cinema's most iconic heroes. Ron Howard, the acclaimed actor-turned-director whose career has spanned decades and touched nearly every part of Hollywood, has also led a rich and fulfilling personal life. This life is marked most notably by his long-standing marriage to Cheryl Alley. Ron and Cheryl were married on June 7, 1975, beginning a partnership that would last for nearly half a century. This is an impressive thing in an industry where personal relationships are often tested by fame, intense work schedules, and public scrutiny. Their marriage is often talked about as a testament to commitment, stability, and mutual respect. and it has provided a strong foundation for both Ron's professional work and their family life. Together, Ron Howard and Cheryl Alley have raised 4 children, each of whom has carved out their own path in life while also remaining connected to the creative legacy of their family. Among their children are Bryce Dallas Howard and Paige Howard, both of whom have pursued careers in the entertainment industry, reflecting the influence of their father's pioneering work in film and television. Bryce Dallas Howard, perhaps the most prominent of the Howard children, has achieved considerable acclaim as an actress, director, and producer. She has earned recognition for her versatility and commitment to her craft and projects. She has worked on everything from blockbuster franchises to independent films. Paige Howard, meanwhile, has also pursued acting, showing the artistic spirit and determination that seem to run in the Howard family. Beyond their public careers, the Howard children have grown up within a family environment that values creativity, hard work, and personal integrity. Ron and Cheryl have been known to maintain a supportive and nurturing household, emphasizing the importance of balancing professional ambition with family bonds. Their home life, though private, reflects a harmony and stability that stands in contrast to the often chaotic or highly publicized personal lives of other Hollywood families. Over the years, Ron's role as a father has been characterized by being attentive and encouraging. Each child has benefited from both his guidance and his example of navigating the challenges and opportunities that come with a high-profile career. At 71, Ron Howard, the legendary actor-turned-director whose career spans over 6 decades in Hollywood, has finally opened up about his memories and experiences with George Lindsey. George Lindsey was the beloved actor best known for his role as Goober Pyle on The Andy Griffith Show. For years, fans and entertainment historians have wondered about what really happened behind the scenes of the classic television series, especially regarding how the cast members interacted with each other. But until now, Ron had largely remained private about his personal insights into Lindsey's character and professional life. In a recent interview, Ron spoke honestly, offering a truthful and thoughtful perspective that sheds light not only on Lindsey's personality, but also on the realities of working in the golden era of television. George was one of those people who could light up a room the moment he walked in, Ron explained. You knew right away that his heart was in the right place and that he genuinely cared about everyone around him both on set and off. He had a warmth that was unmistakable. And yet there was also this humility to him that made working with him feel natural and easy. Ron remembered that despite the comedic brilliance that Lindsey brought to his roles, there was a depth and professionalism to him that often went unnoticed by viewers who only saw the on-screen antics. People remember Goober Pyle and think, oh, he was just a funny guy. But the truth is, George approached his craft with the same dedication as any serious actor. He was constantly observing, learning, and perfecting, even in moments that might have seemed spontaneous. That's what made his performances so effortless. You could feel the authenticity, but it was backed by years of thoughtful preparation. Ron emphasized that Lindsey had a rare ability to balance humor with genuine emotion, a quality that made him beloved not only to his colleagues, but also to audiences across generations. In thinking back on their off-screen interactions, Ron shared that Lindsey was more than just a co-star. He was a mentor and a friend. George had this amazing way of making you feel like you mattered, like your contribution to the show was genuinely appreciated. He'd take the time to share advice or just have a conversation about life, not just acting. That generosity is something I'll never forget. Ron also highlighted Lindsey's strength and ability to adapt, noting that the actor navigated the pressures of fame and the demanding requirements of television with remarkable grace. There were days when the schedule was brutal or the cameras weren't cooperating, but George maintained a level of professionalism that was inspiring. He never let the frustrations of the moment take away from the joy of performing. That's a lesson I carry with me to this day. Ron's thoughts also touched on the personal side of Lindsey's life, revealing a man who was deeply committed to his family and friends. Outside of the studio, George's life was rich and full. He cared deeply for those close to him, and he made time for them in a way that's rare in this industry. You'd often see him quietly supporting a friend or celebrating someone else's success before thinking of his own. That kind of selflessness left an indelible mark on everyone who knew him. Ron concluded by acknowledging that while Lindsey is no longer with us, His legacy continues not only in his memorable performances, but also in the countless personal connections he made throughout his life. Talking about George now, it's impossible not to smile. He had a way of making every day brighter, and his influence is something that stays with you. I think people will always remember him for the laughter he brought, but those of us who knew him personally remember him for his kindness, his intelligence, and his unwavering heart. Through Ron's honest remarks, it becomes clear that George Lindsey was far more than the sum of his on-screen antics. He was a complete professional, a mentor, a friend, and a man of deep warmth whose presence made the lives of those around him richer. Ron's reflections, told at this stage in his life, serve as a heartfelt tribute, offering fans and historians alike a deeper understanding of the man behind the iconic character. At 71, Ron's willingness to speak openly about Lindsey provides not just insight into television history, but also a lesson in the lasting power of kindness, dedication, and authenticity in an industry often defined by short-lived fame and superficiality. George may have left this world, Ron says, but the impact he had, the lessons he shared, and the joy he brought continue to resonate. And that, to me, is the real measure of a life well lived.